Bienvenidos una vez más a mi canal. Vamos a continuar con el Desarrollado.
In the winter, when we're traveling, we didn't build sod houses, we built snow houses. In Canada, they call them igloo, but here in Alaska, we call them apuyak. We do a day of travel, and then we'd make a apuyak. The next day, my father would set traps, spend the day there, rest the dogs, give them something to eat, and then the following day, we continue to the next place. We'd go to my dad's sister, who had a house at Dubai. They had a small sod house over there. We didn't have to do anything. We just visit with them, and my dad and my sister were glad to see each other, and they'd talk away while us kids played outside or go to sleep. By the time we get back to our home, my father would leave us with our aunt or with my grandmother, and then he'd start on his trips and go check his trap line. We were not into 8 to 5 kind of time, you know. We're in a totally different kind. We're in ecological time.
Drum is something that's common to all cultures in Alaska. All cultures have a drum that may have some stylistic differences or differences in the materials that it's made, but it's still in recognition of life and vitality, and the drum mirrors the heartbeat. And when you continue drumming, soon it will be in line with your heartbeat, because that's what it's supposed to be, the heartbeat of the community, and it symbolizes vitality. And it's the most tremendous feeling to be in a room and to have one long row of all the drummers and to have that feeling of unity and everyone beating in harmony, the drum beat in unison. It's the most beautiful feeling. And to know that you're connected, you're on the land that you are connected to. And even if you grew up outside the community, that which is in you comes from this area. And it's the greatest feeling.
Man, I went at it and look what happens. Oh.
They're just like other people. They just happen to be very small and extremely strong.
These are stories that are common throughout Alaska. And it's normally that people are in a size from your elbow to the tips of your fingers, and they possess superhuman strength. So they may be tiny, but they can carry a whole caribou.
And if you go up north and you talk to a number of the people in the community, they'll talk about having seen the little people.
There's a place at home that we know, but we don't profess it to anybody.
But it's not like the boogeyman.
They can be mischievous, they can be ornery, or they can be helpers.
And every now and then, we might have the opportunity to see them, especially if they want us to see them.
The fact that it's across Alaska really tells you something about our history and how we interacted with nature around us.
The bola is what we call kilamitan. And the kilamitan is made out of braided sinew tied out to some heavy bone which you could twirl. In my case, we're catching ducks.
When we're out whaling, sometimes the ducks start flying. And they're good for duck hunting. You know, if you're a whaling crew, you can't make too much noise, so you can't use a shotgun for getting some duck soup handy, you know? So bolo was a really handy weapon to use for catching ducks. You know, the ducks fly in, you throw it up and dangles up the bird, and down they go.
The scariest I've ever been, I was 12 years old. We floated out on a piece of ice while we were duck hunting. It was a bluebird day, just clear blue skies, and there was 3 of us, myself, my brother, and my dad. Next thing you know, we see this dark shadow on the ice. We look and it goes behind us. So we all jumped up, startled, and my dad, he started running. We got back to the ridge there. The ice had fractured, cracked, and broke off, and we were floating away. We were drifting. It was close enough to where my dad would have made it. He stopped and he thought about throwing us across, and if one of us was on the other side, we would be split up. So he stopped, and he just so happened to have a cell phone on him. 911 didn't pick up. That's the worst feeling in the world right there. 911 did not pick up. So he left a message because they record their calls. Once he had relayed that information, his cell phone died.
Holy.
That was the scariest moment I've ever had in my life. We were floating away and I thought we were left for dead. He kept calm during this situation. He's bringing out everything positive in this case. You know, I'm crying, my brother's freaking out. It went from clear blue to dense fog. Within a couple hours, we heard the chopper flying around, so they must have gotten our message. We thought we were saved, and then the chopper sound went away. So we lit some of the sled on fire. It's plastic. We thought black smoke in the fog would create some kind of marker. Chopper pilot had mentioned when we got rescued, you could see a glow in the fog, and he slowed down there, and sure enough, as soon as he slowed down, we got within visual. That was definitely the scariest moment of my life, was floating away and not knowing what the outcome was going to be.
We're very much aware of the climate change. And it's been for many years, even before climatologists were noticing this change, Inuit were already saying, "Sila alangokto." Our climate is changing.
If the heat is going the way it is right now, for us it's going to be pretty bad. Different birds are coming, and they're coming earlier, and sometimes rain is more than what we want. Because when there's more rain, we know it's going to melt the permafrost.
In my time as a young whaler, when I was 9 years old, we're hunting from ice that was about 25 feet thick. And there was giant icebergs already floating, coming by. That was the first signs of a changing climate. Ice that never broke before was now moving. Now, here it is 50 years later, we're hunting whale from ice that's 18 inches thick. There's no more thick ice.
It's creating a malfunction in our whaling season, is what it is. Actually, more than that, all seasons in general.
I think we are more scientists than more people will realize. We have more knowledge of those things than people will ever know.
Agalang naman na aglaw. luktallaneqsoq qanupayaaq.
No, 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 no. Jolines, qué pesado eres, chico.
Taapkuak tikissakka nannupsitlanga. Asi piyumagilipiksuagai. Tikissak.
No he leído lo que pone. ¿Qué va a hacer? Tras esto es tu propia casa. Es que no consigo. No me da tiempo. Es que no tendría que caerse. Vale. Oh, yeah. Se me cerró.
Nabra annakkaluaqtuq.
Corre, corre.
Aglaan ilitsuqiluk.
No, no.
Qanuqipiaqtilaanga nunam atimikini. Niveaqsiaqalualugulu tiriganniaqalu imaaqtuk.
Pues se va a
Asi
congelar
taqium
un poquito.
angalat qarsipillugit. Taqium igukkai qairusunginun puktaaqpau. Araaqanuhutik taimma ipingitpak.
A pesar de las grandes dotes de caza de Kunuksayuka, durante un día despejado, tal tiempo inclemente hacía que fuera imposible. Pues nadar con toda esa ropa mojada tiene que ser brutal. Pues había un búho ahí que nos lo hemos dejado arriba.
In, Arctic Alaska, hunting is a really important part of life. It's not just about going and shooting something, it's about going and putting food on the table. But more importantly, subsistence hunting isn't just about the insular family unit, it's about feeding the whole community. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about subsistence hunting in Alaska is that people go out and they'll go get, fish, or they'll get a caribou, and they'll get, seals and whales. And one of the first things they'll do is they'll say, oh, I need to take this to the elders. This isn't just about one individual surviving or one family surviving, it's about the whole community.
We didn't just go out and kill and put in a freezer. It's like a ritual that I learned from my parents.
It's all about relationship. I don't know, I think there's a lot of camaraderie involved. And just being out on the land or being out on the ocean, it's like getting back in tune.
I'd rather be out there. To me, once I go out there, it's the world that I learn from.
Venga, otra vez. A ver. Venga, zorritos, suben. Madre mía, qué paciencia. Otra vez. A ver, niña. Salta. Vale. Ok. Cuando quiere pega unos botes increíbles y cuando no quiere no los salta. ¿Suba usted? No voy a llegar tan arriba. Oh, sí. Ok. Otra vez. ¿Dónde vamos? Ay, va, que leches ha dado tú. Estar por la espalda ahí. Bueno, esos pinchitos que hay ahí abajo no me gustan. Zorro, ven. ¿Qué es eso? Pero tengo que ir por ahí. Oh, pues parece que sí. Vaya. Baja, baja. Zorro, baja, chico. A ver. Ah, salta. Pues yo estoy segura que si toco los pinchos me muero. Ok, ¿qué tengo que hacer pues? ¿Puedes atinar un poco ahí arriba? No sé si eso es para algo. Pero no había ahí espíritus. Ah, es que se van, vale. Vale, o sea, tú te tienes que quedar ahí, zorro. Ay, señor. Es que no da tiempo a leer lo que pone. ¡Sáltalo! Pero mira para el otro lado. ¿Y ahora qué? ¿El zorro qué? Ok. Ah, vale. Vale. Whee. Whee. Solo no puede. A ver, ¿qué hay? No he cogido el... Ah, sí. Todo está vivo. Vamos a verlo.
Now we spend all our time out in nature. You get very intimate with the world. And over time, if you're living that life, you start to sense that everything has a spirit. There's a consciousness in everything. Everything is alive. If everything is alive, then we want to respect it. And if we're going to use it, we want to use it respectfully.
What I try to tell my nephews and nieces, you know, you love to hunt, you have to take care of the animals that you catch, preparing the food and eating the food that you catch.
Water provides you. The ice brings you life. It provides all those things that you need to be a part of your life.
That was something I grew up with. I grew up respecting the animals. I grew up respecting the land. And that, to me, that is why we as iñupiaq, as an iñupiaq culture, as an iñupiaq people, is why we're so successful.
¿Y cuándo se ha llenado esto de agua? Tengo que volver para abajo otra vez. Parece que sí. Ahora ya no sale eso. A ver. Uy, yo ya me he ahogado 7 veces, ¿eh? Esto es un sueño de la niña, ¿verdad? ¿Y abajo habrá algo? No. Vamos, zorrito. Me da que por ahí no voy a poder pasar. Es que desde aquí no puedo. A ver, ¿cómo muevo la cosa esa? No puedo saltar. Es que no se mueve, si muevo el zorro no se mueve tampoco. Ajá. Trata de niña. Verdad, me ha ido el zorro tan cosa. ¡Ay, que se me ha bugueado! Levanta. ¡Ay, señor! Se le ha quedado la cabeza ahí enganchada en el hielo. No. Ah, vale. Vale, vale, venga, vente. Curioso sistema para saltar. Oh, 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 oh. Que te he visto. Otra vez en el agua. ¿Ves? Era un sueño. Venga, despertaos, los ahogáis.
I think most central to the ideology of the iñupiaq is the idea of sharing.
Being able to feed the community, feed others. That's why we hunt. You know, in the old days, that's what you needed to survive, you know.
The sharing is important because it's how the community survives together collectively.
We just give. That's how I grew up. That's the way I'm always going to be. Because of who we are, we always think about other people first.
If our people didn't share in the old days, we wouldn't have survived in this harsh, climate, environment.